Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm glad at what you guys are doing. I have the privilege to have related with the anchor person in person of Mr. Philip Amiola, and I'm so glad to have had to work with him. He's a dynamic young man and very visionary. He told me I'll be talking about building a successful career through high-quality relationships. And I think this is a very important topic for you to know at this stage of your life. When we talk about relationship and career, they almost go hand in hand. In fact, relationship and success, relationship and life. Life itself is all about relationship. Imagine when you were born, before you came to the world to see the first human being, you had a relationship with someone, or there was a relationship between some people, okay? So your father and your mother had a relationship through courtship, and then they had interaction that led to pregnancy. And then right in the womb, you had a relationship with your mother for the space of about 9 months. And then you are giving birth to. Before you ever knew how to call your name, people had carried you. People had related with you. People had bathed you. People had backed you. People had fed you. And then you grew up to now decide whether you want to continue with those people or you want to have new relationships. So relationship is part of life. It's key to everything that we do. Here we are talking about relationship and career, building quality relationship and your career. But I want you to know that everything in your life has to do with relationship. So I begin by remembering that when I was leaving the university, I had this professor, very intelligent man, and he taught us quite a lot about Aristotle, Socrates. You can remember all the philosophers. And I asked him a question. I said to him, Prof, I have a question for you. I'm not going to go for an interview and I will cite Aristotle. I'm not going to talk about Bertolt Brecht. I'm not going to talk about some of these great dramatists or philosophers. I'm not going to talk about Friedrich Nietzsche. So, in summary, for the years we have spent with you, could you please just give us in 3 values, what are we leaving your class with? And Prof said, he gave us 3, maybe because I'm not a very, very intelligent student. I can remember only 2. All right, he said, first, the supremacy of intelligence. Don't joke with knowledge. Seek knowledge. Second value, he said, never look down on anybody. Like I said, the third point I've forgotten now. It's been many years that I left the university as undergraduate, but I didn't forget this. And so I left the school remembering Professor J.S. Ila, that I have to place supremacy on intelligence. And the second thing is not to look down on anybody. So number 2 fits into what we are talking about here, building relationships. Again, I grew up with a parent that valued so much, a relationship so much. I saw them, by the time I was in secondary school, there was a time we were like 15 under my parent, if not up to 18, And the number of us that were their children were just like 3 of us. Others, cousins, some, we don't even know them. We are not related. They came from another community. So we grew up in the same house under my father. He fed us, clothed us, and did all of that. So I saw firsthand the benefit of building a relationship. So when we talk about building a relationship, we are talking about knowing people. We are talking about relating with people. Not just on surface level because of what you need to get from them, but at a deeper level where you become part of their life and they become part of your life. So it's more than just surface kind of a thing. It's a deeper kind of relationship that you can tell that I know a bit of this person and this person knows a bit about me. And so I've thought about what do we need to do if we are going to build quality relationship. And I think the first thing we need to take seriously is to value people. We don't build relationship because of what we need, because of what we want. We build relationship because we believe in humanity. You need to understand that everyone you meet is important. He could be a manager, he could be a messenger, he could be a gate man, he could be a general manager. You just need to believe in humanity. What makes us is not our status. What makes us is not our resources. What makes us is not even our looks. It's the fact that we are human. And if you see people from that light, you discover that everyone is handsome, everyone is beautiful. What makes us human is the spirit that is in us. Okay? It's not our face, it's not our shape, it's not our figure. Good as they are just like a house that we live in. And so when you believe in humanity, that is the beginning point. Do you believe in humanity? Do you see the messenger as a human being as much as you see the manager as a human being? Or you relate with people simply because of what you can get from them? And that is the foundation. So if you value people, then you relate with people. If you relate with people, then you give them attention and give them time. And then relationship begins. But for you to build quality relationship, there has to be personal philosophy. You've got to believe in something. You have to have a value. There's something you stand for. Why are you building a relationship? Do you just want to know people because you want to know them? Do you want to know about them because you want to know about them? Or you want to know them and know about them because you want to help them? For instance, my own personal philosophy for building a relationship is live and help live. I believe in living and I believe in supporting people to live better. Now, this doesn't necessarily translate into the fact that I have all things. I'm made. That's not what it means. But in any little way I can, I want to support people. In any little way I can, I want to help people. And so with that mindset, I meet people. I approach people. Okay? I relate with people. And I'm looking out for how can I be of help. Not necessarily what can they do for me. Along the line, of course, I've seen many people do things for me, and I'm appreciative of that. But it's not so much first about what people can do for you. It's not so much about what is in need for me. It's first about what do I have to offer. And so your personal philosophy is important. And when you know that your personal philosophy is important, you know that you can't live as an island. Okay? You can't live on your own. A tree does not make a forest. Okay? So you have to relate with people. And if you have to relate with people, it has to be by building a relationship. And so once you have defined your value or your personal philosophy, the next thing is, how do I connect with people? First, you need to know that every human being on the face of the earth has a need. Often it's said, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Well, maybe not always true, but when someone meets you at the point of your need, you always remember them. So when you are going to meet someone, you are asking yourself, what can I offer this person? How do I come to the aid of this person? How do I become part of this person's life? I've been privileged to be in leadership for many years, and I've realized that some of the loneliest people you can ever meet are people in leadership, because they keep giving and giving and giving, and nobody attends to them. If there are very few. Shortly before I came to present this lecture, I was talking with someone, because someone under my leadership in another organization came to my office yesterday, two of them, and they said, we have an issue. And then I said, what is the issue? They told me, and I said, I know the person involved. Let me call him. I couldn't reach him, and today I was able to see him. And when I saw him, I said, I'm standing on behalf of these people, and I'm going to stand as a guarantor for them. And he said to me, you tried. You tried. And I said, why? He said, it's rare to see people who stand these days as a guarantor for people. And I said, well, I'm their leader. If I cannot vouch for them, then I shouldn't be proud to be their leader. So I'm saying that there are people that are always having needs. People in leadership always have needs. Your parents have needs. Your benefactors have needs. They might not be able to tell you, or you might not have a solution to their needs. But in most cases, you have something to offer. So when you are getting to connect with people, you need to ask yourself, what do I have to offer? That has to be at the back of your mind first, not what do they have to offer me. Because in most cases, you are even willing to offer something to them, but you don't want anything in return. You just want to do it to better humanity. So when you have that at the back of your mind, then the next thing is to connect. Now, there are many ways to connect these days, both from Facebook to LinkedIn to Twitter to Instagram. There are many ways to connect with people. Of course, there are a lot of connections taking place, but deeper connections are very few. So you might also have like 5,000 friends on Facebook, but you may not have up to 5 friends among them. What we are saying here is how to take just the ordinary connection to another level. How you get connected and become part of people's life. And as you get connected to people, you build relationship. And I need you to understand that building relationship is a function of time and resources. Okay? How do you claim to be a friend or to have relationship with someone who doesn't have your time or who you don't have time for? So you'll be willing to spend time. You'll be willing to call. You'll be willing to visit if you can. Okay? You'll be willing to connect at a deeper level beyond just the face value of I know him, he knows me. One of the things I do these days to just get to know how deep people know each other is to ask, what's his parents' name? Or what are his parents' name? Where did he finish from? Basic questions, and people will fail it. And yet they will tell you he's my friend. Now, what kind of friend is that? A friend that doesn't know basic information about the other person. So you've got to understand that you can build high-quality relationship by your interaction. Now, when we are building relationship, there are 3 types of relationship that are very important to you. Relationship with people that are above you. Okay? They could be mentors, they could be fathers, they could be senior friends, whatever you choose to call them. They are greater than you in one way more than one. In age, in resources, whatever it is that they have more than you. You need to have a relationship with them. You need to have a relationship with your peers. People who you are classmates, you are friends, you are almost of the same age bracket. And you need to have a relationship with people below you. These 3 relationships are very vital. In the layman's language, if you are going up, you need a relationship with people up so that they can pull you up. Okay? If you are going down, you need a relationship with people down so that when you get there, they don't trap up on you. Okay? And if you choose to stay on the same level, you need to be comfortable. But beyond that, sincerely, you need people ahead of you. They are filled with wisdom. What we call experience is the series of mistakes and errors we have made. We tag them experience. And one of the things people ahead of you will donate to you free of charge is their experience. They just tell you about their mistakes so that you don't go make the same mistake again. So you need to build a relationship with people who are ahead of you. People who are on your level, you need a relationship with them. So you could connect, you could know what is going on. They can support you when you are down, when you are there. And people who are below you, they have a lot to offer you also. Because if they are not there for you, you probably might not have your file move in some instances. So when you begin to learn that you need to build relationship across board, then you are careful. Because these 3 categories of people I've mentioned, you meet them on a daily basis. From your compound, your neighborhood, that man you don't like, that woman you don't like because he's always advising you, unsolicited advice, unsolicited counsel, that person is important to your life. Okay? That man in your neighborhood that you don't like greeting because the way he looks at you is important to your life. That your manager that you think he's too bossy because he's always picking on you, it's important you build a relationship with him. That woman that you think she's wicked, however you must have tagged her, it's important you build a relationship with her because she's just a sample of the larger population you are going to meet. For every single one person you see, there are about 7,000 of them globally of that kind of person. The same personality, the same character trait. Just mention it. So you need to take more time and attention. Be tolerant. Understand yourself, self-awareness, and understand them and be able to work with them. So having connect with people, you need to be committed. After the connection, there has to be commitment. If there is no commitment, there should be no relationship. If you are not willing to be committed, and this is where you need to know, you need to be aware of yourself. What is your strength? How far can you go? If you can keep only 5 friends, well, maintain the 5. If you can keep 10, go to 10. But don't have a friend or don't build a relationship you cannot service. If you can't service the relationship, then it's better not to start it. Because you are either going to be considered unserious or you are going to weary yourself. You don't need to go to that level. Any relationship you build, make sure you feed it for the period of time you are available. And of course, in this generation, there are many ways of communicating that wouldn't cost you too much, just to make sure you keep in touch. Don't build a relationship, like I said, because you have a need. No. If you build a relationship because of humanity, the day you have a need, it will answer for you. Many years ago, I had a privilege to assist my brother to move his things, okay, because he was transferred. So he needed to move his things from Enugu down to Kaduna State. And so I went to his house, and then I saw the things. I went to the park, and then I saw an aguero, I saw the tout, the area boy, like we call them. The guy was the head of the touts, and I had a conversation with him, and he was quite interesting, and he helped me to arrange a vehicle. It wasn't even his own vehicle. It wasn't even the transport company he was representing, but he assisted me, and we arranged the vehicle, and we moved the things to Kaduna State. I picked his number. Once in a while, I'll send him recharge card, 100 naira, 200 naira. He will call me, Oga Shola, how are you doing? I said, I'm fine. He said, I got your message. Thank you very much. I was just doing that. I'd already paid him. I've done everything I needed to do. I was just feeding that relationship. For what? I don't know. He's a human being. And then one night, after many years, maybe after 4 to 5 years, one night, my brother was stranded in a place called Night Mile in Enugu State around 9 p.m. And he called me and he said, Uncle, I said, yes. He said, I'm stranded. And I said, where are you? He said, I'm in 9 Mile. I don't know what to do. I said, okay, hold on. And then I scrolled through my phone and I saw this Agbero. And I called him. And he said, where is your brother? And I said, he's at so spot. He went there, grabbed him by the hand, and lodged him in the hotel. My brother called me after the man left. He said, how did you meet this man? I smiled. I said, you won't understand. I met him 5 years ago, and I decided to feed the relationship. Today, I don't have his contact again. But for the period I had his contact, it was useful for me. Don't look down on anybody, except you're admiring their shoe. Okay? So when you build relationship, you have connected with people, you need to be committed. Commitment comes in different ways. We now live in a generation of, I'm sorry to say, of young people who are not willing to serve. You call them for internship, they're asking you, how much are you paying me? You need to understand that when we talk about employability, payment is for value that you deliver. If you're an intern, you don't have a value to deliver yet that can be priced. And so you can work in a place for free for 6 months. Even when the person is saying, how much do you want me to pay you? You just tell the person, if you can take care of my transport and a little thing for upkeep, I'll be okay. Don't forget that every opportunity you have to stay with people that know more than you, you are building skills and experiences. So in most cases, where you are building the skills and experiences, they don't pay you. It is when you have left that point to another place that they can now see that you have added value to yourself. So when we are talking about being employable, you are not going to be, you just finished from NYSC, and then, or you are an intern, and then you are already pricing like someone that has 10 years experience. These are two different levels. Okay? So if you're an intern, you want to learn. You don't have the power to negotiate how much to be paid. Now, these are two things can happen. You can negotiate, the person will agree to pay you, but he will not add value to you. Deliberately. You make sure you are doing the same thing over and over again until you are tired and you get out of the system. But you can choose to look down on the money and then agree to serve. There is nobody you serve willingly and well who doesn't know your value and will not want to reward you one way or the other. Commitment. Be willing to serve people even without being paid. Because in the process of that, you are sharpening your skills, your talent, and as you are sharpening your skills and your talent, you are getting better because your value is also increasing. Then when you have done that, you begin to leverage on those relationships. Your LinkedIn relationship. Please, it is wrong and fundamentally wrong to solicit for help when you are still building relationship. Okay? Just make sure you talk about your passion. Talk about it. Don't talk about it in such a way that the person thinks that you want them to take action. Just keep saying, oh, I love to do this. I love to do this. Sometimes you can just say, sir, ma, if you have an opportunity in this area, let me know. It's one of the areas I'm passionate about. Don't solicit. Sir, I need money to photocopy my CV. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because when you solicit from people too early, they begin to think that you came around them because of what they have. Most people that are well off have had people come around them because of what they can get from them. Don't go and add to the number. The President of America, J.F. Kennedy, a woman baked a cake, chocolate cake, and went to J.F. Kennedy and said, President, I just brought a gift for you. And the president said, what? He said, I learned you like chocolate cake, so I just brought it. And the president said, you are the first person who will step into this office bringing something for me and not asking me for anything. And that was where this word came in. Do not ask what America can do for you. think of what you can do for America. That was how the phrase came about. So the woman decided to just honor the president. Anybody who you get close to, see what you can contribute to their life. Make sure there is a commitment through values. You share the commitment through value. Let there be something you have to offer them. Then you can leverage on the relationships. Okay? Social groups. Like in your church, the group you belong to, the unit you belong to, or if you're a Muslim in the mosque, or professional association, join as a student. Try to attend their conferences and then connect with few people. And don't connect with them and start giving them your CV. No, just connect and link up with them. Ask them questions, what they have learned on the field. Okay? Contribute to whatever you think they have to do and just support them. And you begin to leverage on that. As you build those relationships, they remember you. They bear you in mind so that when they have something to do close to what you are doing, update your social media pages with what you are doing. They will know and they will contact you when they need you. There's a particular platform that we all belong to, and then Mr. Philip Amiola is a member of that platform. And he told me he got a gig sometimes ago to do something for that company. And I told him, the person who recommended you is on the same WhatsApp group with you in so place. And he said he didn't know. And I said, yes, he won't know. Because he kept talking about what he could do. And then when there was an opportunity, the person recommended him. And he was taken. Till date, I don't know if he gets to know the person. So it's important. And when you are building career, I want to say that first, don't just be excited about what you think you can do. No, don't be excited. I suggest that you do a psychometric test. Do an assessment. And I'm going to provide my email in this video so you can reach out to me. I'm a career coach also for a particular organization. You can get to know what your values are. You can get to know what your interests are, your skills, and your abilities. Okay, when you get to know these things, it's easier for you to connect and to network along your area of interest. So many of you now, your career journey is so scattered. You are not focused because you have no idea of how to analyze yourself, your personality, your interests, your values, and even your work outcomes. Okay? Not everybody wants to be rich. Some just want to be comfortable. Some want to work in a neat environment. Now, you want to work in a neat environment and then you want to be a mechanical engineer. Okay? Unless you are in the area of design. You are in design engineering, because there's no how you will get your hand dirty if you are going into mechanical engineering. So it's important that you do those analyses. If you are able to, it helps you to network well and network better. There's this book by Daniel Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a good book you need to get. When you are building relationship, you must be self-aware. Put yourself under control. Okay? Don't let there be outbursts of anger. Don't talk against people behind them. Ensure that you play the rule according to the game. It's Solomon in the Bible, in Proverbs, that says, anyone who wants to be a friend must show himself friendly. There are attitudes that shows that one is a good friend. You can't be stingy, for instance, and keep friends. You can't be a backbiter and keep friends. When you keep talking behind your friend's back, they will get to hear and they will know the kind of person you are. You can't keep malice and build friends. There are attitudes that promote relationship building. And so when you are building, ensure that you invest more than you reap. A lot of us don't see that life is all about sowing and reaping. And the reason why a lot of us don't reap is because we have not sown enough. You need to go about sowing in building relationship. Of recent, I had a boss call me. I worked with him over maybe about 15 years ago. He called me and he said, I need you to give a lecture on emotional intelligence to some PhD students. And he said there are quite a number of them. And I said, sir, when do you want it? And he said, in 3 days' time. I said, sir, it's not convenient. Now, mind you, I was running a training for a federal government agency that was to last for 3 days. On the 4th day, I had another presentation somewhere. I'm back to back like that. And he said, this is the day he wanted. And I said, sir, I can't say no to you. You are my boss, okay? Anytime, any day. So I agreed. And I accepted that I was going to deliver the lecture. I went to work, and then I delivered the lecture. Guess what? His registrar, because he owns a business school, his registrar reached out to me, and he said, we have a honorarium for what you have done. Send us your account number. And he sent me 100,000, okay, as honorarium for 1 hour, 30 minutes lecture. But when I said yes, I didn't know they were going to pay me. I didn't even have it in mind. here is it. I was willing to give. I was willing to contribute to what he was doing. In fact, that day when I gave the lecture, he said it to everyone that was present online, that he was shedding tears because he knew me before I became what I am now, okay? And he had no regret investing in me, and I learned a lot from him. Of course, I said 15 years ago, and I'm still willing to go to any length for him. So you need to understand that relationship is all about that. It's all about giving. And then as you build those relationships, ensure that you preserve them. I know this phrase among young people that say, well, it has expired. Listen to me, relationship can expire. But don't be the one to close the door and walk out. And if you must close the door, close it gently, just in case you have to open it again. So when you have misunderstanding, like service breakdown, like betrayal, ensure that you close the door of relationship gently, just in case you still need it. Okay? If you can tell the person, well, these are the things you did that I don't like, but I just need you to know. But don't be the one who goes about betraying others, because it's a question of time. They are going to talk about you. There is a WhatsApp group we have, all my classmates that we did undergraduate together. And then a section of the country had a hangout recently. And one of us wasn't doing too well. He had issues. We had supported him in time past. And he introduced his business. People put money together and they invested in it. Guess what happened? The guy disappointed them. They tried to resolve it privately. They couldn't resolve it. They brought it to the general platform and they removed him. Remember we did undergraduate together. Okay? The number of years we spent, they removed him from the platform. And they said when he changed, they will bring him in. You've got to know that your character is going to speak for you. People will recommend you based on your character. Don't try to live off people, okay? Don't try to be a smart one that you come around people because of what you want to get. I've had privilege to mentor a lot of people, and they come around me, they say, I want you to mentor me. And I'll say, okay. And there was a particular one I remember, it was in Port Harcourt, and the young man came to me and said he wanted me to mentor him, and I said, I'm free, no problem, keep in touch. And I realized that every time he calls me or sends me a message, he has a need. Okay, some of the times I will support him, I will send him money, and some other time I will not. I'll just keep quiet. Then one day I asked him, then I was still a PhD student, and I asked him, guy, I'm a student, I'm a father, I'm a pastor, I'm all of this. You've never for one day asked me, sir, how is your family? How is your studies? How is the ministry? How are you doing? And every time you are asking me for money, were you looking for an ATM or a mentor? And that was the last day I heard from him. I have nothing to lose. I just needed to confront him with the truth. He needed to know that that is not how to build a relationship. And so when you are building a relationship, let it be for mutual benefit, not necessarily because of what you want or what you are going to get. Ensure that you build relationship and you add value to the person. If you are able to do that, when you have a need, they will genuinely want to support the little way they can. I would have loved to say more than this, but I feel I should just touch every part briefly and maybe provoke some conversation. You are free to ask your questions. I will be on hand to answer them. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Bye.